Alright everybody, welcome back to the Craftverse series. This is episode 381. Last episode we finished up this build by Arashi_12. Thank you again for your contribution to the community, good friend. What you might not have seen last time is the chimney that is barely coming into view right there. What I also did in between episodes, as you can tell, is fill out a bunch of the snowberries. Snowberries? This isn't Skyrim. Sweet berries. I filled out the sweet berries and all the firefly bushes. I did not, however, get all of the sniffer flowers in place in the corners. I have to go grab a bunch of those and finish that at some point. Otherwise, the aesthetic for the area is more or less in place. But what I did also do off camera, as you might have seen a little glimpse of in the corner, is I added a mansion. Yeah. I just keep going back to Lex the Builder's stuff. It's just really good at building high quality pieces. And this somehow fits exactly perfectly in the space that I had. We can go all the way to this little divider here, which will eventually have the centerpiece as the ones on that island do. And you can see that it fits just snugly up against this line, which goes right up against the pathway as it sits. There's a little bit of extra space over here, but then when we get all the way back to this side, it fits perfectly here as well. So given how perfectly that fit, I just couldn't resist building it. But the tutorial, which will be linked in the description, is extremely thorough. So yeah, I'm going to be leaving that one alone. I have it marked right here, Pale Oak Mansion, that is the name of the video. And obviously the build. I try to make sure everybody that I build your designs on here gets credited, at least on the entrance, and that is one of the main entrances. I believe I also did it over here, yeah, on this little deck area. I'm actually okay with the way this is designed. This is the original design, even as far as all of the walls, everything is identical. There's a couple of changes on the interior. Namely, I have added in these pressure plates so I can close the door behind myself. And in here, I have also added in a little bit of extra lighting because it was pretty dark in the original. And I don't need spawns when I turn this back into normal instead of on peaceful. These are the main changes that I did, was adding in the additional little light fixtures. So, as I said a moment ago, it is more spawn resistant. I did these along each of the sides here. I kept the same pathway going up the staircase, as well as the guardrails. I've also added in these little touches along any of the towers, wherever I felt was appropriate, and that is perfectly centered along the 7 height, so I like that. Also added these in. There's a couple spots of additional lighting here or there. Like there's a lantern up in the ceiling up there lighting up the roof. There's another lantern that's kind of tucked away. I don't know if you can really see it. It's up there in the spawnable zone up there that should have carpet, but I didn't bother putting carpet up there yet. And then we have all of these fixtures, which are unique to the original. We can go out here onto the main deck, and I have yet again another set of these in each of the corner pieces. And I have one more above there just to light up the roof of the towers. Down here is still just a little bit darker than I might like, but it's more or less spawn-proofed. It's a nice view and vantage point for the area. It's also a great landing pad if you need to elytra yourself around. But you can go inside and either go to the bottom floor, which might be good for little storage segments. There's no real interior in the tutorial. It really gives you freedom to do whatever you want with it. And then you can go to the upper floor, which has a very unique lighting system. And then we can get a larger vantage point up here. And you get a better view of how that is put together, the outside of the chimney. I somehow managed to do something a little different with the chimney, and when we get over there, I'll show you. In the original, there's only like one of the border strips beside the chimney on that side. There's two on here. I don't know how it got moved when this is exactly where it's positioned, but somehow we ended up with a slight difference in chimney appearance. I don't think anybody would have noticed that if I didn't point it out, but now that you're looking for it, you very well might notice it. But this is the main entrance, and it is up to spec with one additional piece right here. I even have these little sections right here, and I added in my tower lighting pieces as well. You can come up here and see I've added a little bit of extra lighting on the exterior, just because there wasn't much lighting at all out here, and I wanted to change that. This is very well lit on the outside, and once it goes back to being nighttime, I'll give you a farther away shot of the exterior so you can get a better sense of how lit up it is. We have that little segment down there, which I'm just using as a decorative piece, actually. I've added in some of the little torch flowers and some more of the firefly bushes. There's not a whole lot of space to work with out here. I suppose what could be done is removing one or more of these side pieces and just having it be an external lift up into the tower on the second floor, but I think that's kind of counterintuitive. Just because it has outside access, and you really only want to have front-facing access. Another thing that I added from the original is these lights on the awnings, because that lights up the windows better. Otherwise, outside is very dark, dingy, and you really can't see it that well. But we can come down through here, go back up the top, and yet again I have pressure plates behind the doors just to make sure everything is sealable behind myself. We also have this tower right here, which will bring you up to the same level as this. It is just connected. It looks exactly the same. It has the same floor and stair motif. I'll show you on the upper floor here. It looks identical, just with the ladder going downward instead of upward, and it has a window. So that part is the difference. And we also have access to the roof area up there. You'll get a better vantage point to see that chandelier from up there as well. That is slightly different from the original because the original was made on Java Edition, and I can tell because you're able to place the lanterns on the fence gates on Java Edition where you're not on Bedrock. And this being a Bedrock world, it's not possible. So we had to make some concessions. I've also added some lanterns on top of these perches just to limit spawns. I've added some little pieces underneath the dirt blocks where everything is placed. Nothing's going to spawn on a dirt block because animals only spawn on grass. So I don't have to worry about that. But I did think it was ugly seeing the underside of the dirt, so I just added that extra little bit of guard underneath it so it looks like one full set of planter. And added some additional lighting on top of that and hanging from the side here. You can come up either of this or the tower side. And there's another tower that's come up here, but it's not really that much of a tower. It's basically just a window piece right here. And you can see the farm that's in the distance. I like that. It's nearly a perfect fit in the center visual of the resin farm. And if you come over here, you can still see this area pretty well, including the old mob grinder and the animal farm up in the sky. There's nothing else over on this side currently, but I've tried to make it look homey to a slight point by including a crafting bench and additional ender chest on each side. So whatever you decide to do build-wise, you can fill in the area as you see fit. Pop stuff in your ender chest and go on your merry way to the build of choice. And then this gives you the better vantage point of the chandelier. So I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. I also added a line of lanterns every 3 blocks from the wall, and somehow it fits exactly perfectly. That lights up the roof from the inside, since those blocks right beside the lantern are just stairs. As you can see, there's a line of light coming through. That's because they're not fully full blocks. They're just stairs. So the light going through helps at nighttime. Otherwise, it does light up regardless during the daytime. And this is a very, very large and tall area, so there's plenty of room for farms or making things look cozy if you so choose to. Another thank you to Lex the Builder for sharing this build with the community. I hope I have done it justice in my rendition and added a couple of my own little touches here and there just to give additional lighting. Otherwise, I have kept it pretty much exact. I've added a little lantern down here as well because it fits perfectly in the center. And it's good for putting a little bit of extra chest storage underneath here, because who doesn't put chests underneath their stairwells? I do have a couple extra bits in my hand I can get rid of. Those can actually go right there. And that is the front view during the day. I quite like it. It looks a little better at night, I think, but that's just because of how everything is lit up. It's kind of hard to tell what's what right here. It's a very, very tall build. If we go up to the top of it, you'll see. Aw. That we're already on par with the manor that's over there. Its height is pretty close, and it starts vastly lower. That's already a several block drop, and then we have another 5 block drop. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus it's a 12 block drop. Yeah, and it's still on par. So this is a pretty tall build. Being up here also gives the ability to see most of the area. If we come out to this side, you'll notice I still don't have much out this direction. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to change much this week because I have a build that's going to go over there this week. And I guess we can go ahead and get the materials on hand for said build. So let me actually pick this up, see what materials I need. I might have most of the materials already. Spruce, tiles, a bit of each of the wood. Let's actually see what I have. Oh, bit of lag. Alright, so let's come over here. What is available? Andesite. I don't need prismarine. I think I actually need a little bit of dark oak. Not much. but I'll take it with me just in case. Warped stem, no. Bricks can be converted into the other things. Soul lanterns I will need at some point inside. Don't need stained glass. That's all ores and stuff. Okay, yeah, I actually don't need as much from here as I thought. I also don't really need any stone. No. Okay, yeah, this area is completely useless to me at the moment. Let's go double check these builds and see what's in here before I go investing more resources from my main storage. I have to tidy a lot of this area up. As you can see, some of these still have collections of items that I've either not or have barely used. Not really. See, originally I thought I was using these, but actually no. I don't actually need any of those, and yeah, that's pretty much just stuff that's got to get put away at some point. Alright, well, let's go double check the pink house and see what I have left over there. I'm also going to be adding a mirror image of this farm all the way on that side. I should, while I'm over here, actually plant stuff, because I'm going to forget if I don't. Get a fair amount. About a stack, almost. So we can start the process of filling out this area. I'm going to be putting carrots on the other side, and you'll understand why once we actually get that build completed. Now that finishes the first line and starts the second, so that's pretty cool. And we have 41 to our name. Now I think what I have to do for this is actually remove these two, and I'll take that for a moment, convert that, and put you there. Now there's a reason I'm doing that. Now why could I be doing that? Actually, what I want to do is remove that one entirely. And make 2 barrels. Put barrel there and barrel there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the wheat on one side and the other things on the other. This is the main entrance to this little farm. And I'll be doing the same on the other side. This is at -804. Since I don't need anything over here, let's go ahead and place these at -804, and I only have 6 rockets, so I want to wait until I'm done with this part before I bother with that. Is the horse bobbing its head as I bounce? It's kind of odd. Alright, so -804. What we're going to do is go like that, and then pop these 3 out. Let's get Crafting table installed. And we've got those. Perfect. Now what I'm unclear on is whether those are dark oak or spruce. If they're dark oak, then I have the right stuff on me. If not, I have to go scrounging. And if I'm not mistaken, I might have some spruce down below in the basement of the recolorized house. I don't think I actually used a whole lot of spruce in that build, to be honest. But this is spruce. Okay, so I don't need this. That's not what I meant. I meant to do that. Yeah, it's very different. So I need to get a bunch of spruce. I need to get a bunch of things, actually. Let's fly on over to our resource depot. Ow. Well, that was either really fortunate or really unfortunate, depending on how you look at it. Because I missed my target, but I also didn't splat, so there's that. Don't need carpet. I don't need concrete stuff. I know I'm going to have one that has lanterns. I don't need any of these. I'm not really using much terracotta these days. Round. No, no. Where would... Open? Okay, that is in fact snow. I did not fill all of them. I only filled the one. Okay, so that's minorly annoying, but I do actually need snow for this build. It's actually quite a big part of it. Which is different. I don't usually use snow, ice, and the like. But sometimes it's good to be a little bit different. Is there anything over here, or is this completely unused? This one is completely unused. Okay. So I might be using that for some of the new blocks with the new drop. What I need most is actually these. So whatever I don't use from you, I will put back. I need a ton of those. Also, I need a ton of deep slate variant. We'll say a few of these. We'll say a whole box of these. Not really any of those per se. The rest is wood types. Obviously, I need the spruce and dark oak. Wait, no, I have dark oak. What's the other one I'm thinking of? Regular oak. Regular oak. And a little birch, actually. Okay, so I've got all of that. And that's basically it. Just a couple bits of leaves. We'll take 64. And where is spruce? We'll take 64. Anything else? Okay, yes, I will be needing some of these. Not many in comparison, but some indeed. And then there's just a couple bits here or there of other things. Like, so I don't have to craft a bunch of them, we will take probably a stack of these. Anything else in here I should worry about? Not really. Although I will be bringing one of these along the ride. Yeah, we're pretty much fine at the moment. Nothing out of the redstone. Pretty sure I won't need any of the nether stuff. Yeah, no. Okay. We are good to start breaking ground. Why is it raining? Every time I need to build outside, you start raining. Is this an omen for the next couple of days? It's supposed to rain where I live for the next couple of days. I don't like this sign. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and place these over here where they're not going to be in the way. That's not going to get confusing quick or anything. Okay. Well, we're going to put you there for now. We're going to place you. Got that in play. I'm going to go ahead and get the spruce shenanigans for over here. I only need a couple bits that are fence, and the rest are fence gate. That should be perfect, I think. And that's not going to be enough. Fence gate. Start with 40. Okay. Want to make sure that I have enough to do more. Okay, well, that solves that. These are going to go here and here. Since I no longer require you. Actually, let's go ahead and reconvert these back into dirt. Oh, why did you go over there? That one. Put you back into dirt. There and there. And then we just bring these all the way down. Perfect. This will keep my crops safe. We don't have to put you anywhere. We can just stick you right outside. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Removing that. Come all the way down until we're 3 away from here. 3. Because this is 4 then. And then we want to remove those and replace them with sea lanterns for additional lighting. Which I actually did not grab. But I will be needing some of these now that I think about it. Okay. Let's go see if I have sea lanterns somewhere. I believe I saw them over here. No. These are all materials from the other build. Oh! Well. It's both fortunate and unfortunate. I only need 2 of those for the signage over there. Those are on oak signs as well. Actually, I could put these in here because those are already placed. Don't have any bricks in there. Doesn't hurt to have those. Need you. Wait a minute. That won't last very long. Ah, wrong side of the door. Get me out! So it wasn't that house. It then has to be this one. Ow. Oh yeah, I gotta put more of the firefly bushes out on this stretch. It's funny how I finished the second one, but I didn't finish that one. No. Where? Ah. Perfect. Let's at least get this one prepped and ready to go. I don't know if 48's going to be enough. We're about to find out. Oh, exactly enough. Perfect. Cool. Alright, so now we craft a thing. I need 48 exactly. Then we just go down the line, putting these here, and then we'll open all of them up, and next time I can go ahead and get all the water in place. And then on top of that, I put all of my carpets, which I'm going to be using moss. It was 43. Now, what? Did I misread that number? 3s do kind of look like 8s. Yeah, it was 43. Okay, well, we have extras. That in there, that in there. That's probably not going to last, but that'll be the 3 that we need. Alright, so from here, it's just getting the water in, getting the carpets on, and then turning that into farmland, and that will be good to go. Right here is where the build that we're going to be working on in the next episode will start. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, the rain will not be an issue. For right now, have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye!